Hey everyone, thanks for coming along today. My name's Seth. I'm one of the career advisors for Skillstorm, and I'm here with Kevin. And today we're going to be talking to you guys about the Project Plus certification. And the goal of this is to make you aware of the different opportunities that there are in the tech industry in project management or other opportunities and how the Project Plus certification can benefit you in your tech journey. And Skillstorm does offer education in terms of helping you pass CompTIA's Project Plus. And so that's my job, is to talk to you a little bit about the course that we offer here at Skillstorm. We have a couple of start dates upcoming in October and November. And then Kevin will tell you, he'll kind of start us off at the beginning and tell you a little bit about how the Project Plus can benefit you. And so here's a little bit of our agenda. But Kevin, why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself, and I'll go over our agenda.
Sure. Yeah. Hi, Seth. Good to be with you today. And hello, everybody. I'm Kevin McDonald in business development for CompTIA. Hopefully many of you are familiar with us, but for those who may not be, the Computing Technology Industry Association, headquartered in the Chicago suburbs here in the US. And we are the trade association for the global IT industry. And we do many, many things to grow and develop and professionalize the global IT workforce, and most importantly, to bring more workers into the IT workforce. We do that in many ways. One of those ways is with a series of IT certification exams. And one of those is CompTIA Project Plus, which we're going to focus on here today. Good to be with you.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Kevin. And here's, again, our agenda. You can read it there, but yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about what do project managers do, why should we earn that Project Plus certification, what it entails, and then I can come in and tell you guys why Skillstorm is the best choice to get some assistance in passing that Project Plus certification, and how to get started and how you can pay for the course as well. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll, Kevin, I'll let you take it off from here, okay?
Great. Thank you, Seth. So first, let's, for those of you who may already hold one or more CompTIA certifications, our CompTIA A+, CompTIA Network Plus, CompTIA Security Plus are super popular certifications for those that already are working in IT and technical support or network administration or in cybersecurity. A lot of people don't know, however, that for going on over 15 years now, CompTIA has had a project management certification, CompTIA Project Plus, and we have almost 100,000 that are Project Plus certified today. It's a very, very popular certification, typically for those who are trying to get into IT, broaden their skill set, or they're already working in IT, in support, or in development. They might be a webmaster, many, many different job roles, but frequently what comes up is that there are small to mid-size projects that have to be managed. Somebody's got to manage them. And CompTIA Project Plus is just the ticket for those people to help them to understand, well, how do I properly engage with the stakeholder or stakeholders for the work that needs to be done? How do I establish a proper communication plan for all of the people that are going to be on the team that are going to work on this project? Okay, how do I establish a communications plan? Okay, so that everybody is on par with, okay, what's going to be required of me and when, and is able to see phases of the project that people are getting the work done on time and hopefully on or under budget as well. And so CompTIA Project Plus can be a great additional skill for people, whether you're already in IT, but functionally doing other IT work, or you're trying to career change and get into IT, and a good open door way to be able to do that is going to be with CompTIA Project Plus, okay? So you'll learn about the project life cycle, okay? You'll learn about appropriate communication plans, right? And who needs to be in the loop, what resources need to be brought in so that the project can be successful, project documentation, different methodologies of project management, because there's more than one, all right? And it lays the groundwork for you in terms of your professional development, so that over time, if you are being told or asked or want to go on and be able to manage enterprise, large projects, you're going to have an easier time learning how to do that if you've built a foundation with CompTIA Project Plus. Okay, Connor?
And Kevin, I'm going to just interrupt just briefly, and I forgot to mention at the beginning, guys, if you're in attendance, we're going to do some polls throughout this presentation that we're going to ask a little bit about just some of the questions. And if you guys answer these polls, you'll enter into a raffle. Connor's going to put the polls on the in the kind of client for you, and you guys can answer and respond to these polls, and then you'll enter into a raffle to win some CompTIA swag gear. So I just wanted to briefly mention that. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. So sorry.
Yeah, always good to compete for some swag. So let's talk about, if those of you who are dialed into this and you're not sure if this is project management, I don't know, is this something that I should go after? Is this a skill that I should add to my toolkit? Well, let's understand market demand for project management skills. Of all of the hundreds of thousands of IT job postings that are out there across the US today, okay, and there are large IT skills gaps for general IT work and for cybersecurity skills work. About 1 in every 4 of them, the job description asks for project management skills. Okay, over 25 million. Okay, if you're looking at the slide there, yes, you're reading that right. 25 million new project management professionals are forecast to be needed by 2030, just 7 years from now. The average pay today, okay, for somebody who's got project management skills in IT, the average pay $104,000. Okay, it's good money. All right. Yes, there are many that are earning much more, probably because they have more experience, more senior experience. There are also some that are earning less, and that's usually because they're more typically in the first phase of their career. But an average pay over $100,000 for somebody with project management experience in IT. So it's a fertile niche within IT that you should actively consider. Connor? Okay, so let's get to Skillstorm's actual certification course. Okay, what I want to mention is that Skillstorm is using front to back over this 8-week course official CompTIA learning content. Okay, it's under our CertMaster brand, but it's cutting edge digital learning content, right? That goes over and above making sure that it fully maps to all of the exam objectives, all of the criteria that are in the Project Plus certification exam. So you can be sure as you take the course over the 8 weeks of time that everything that you're going to need to know that's going to be on that test that you'll eventually take is all well covered in the official CompTIA learning content that Skillstorm uses as part of their course. Seth, do you want to go into the details a little bit more of how you deliver over the 8 weeks, please?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll dive into it a little bit more in just a little bit, but you'll see there that it's an 8-week course. It is online and instructor-led, but it's also what we call kind of like a hybrid coursework, or some people would call it asynchronous, meaning that there are 3 hours a week of live lecture and 2 hours a week of office hours. However, you are not required by means of being enrolled in this course to participate in the live lectures. If you can make it to the live lectures, that's great. That's probably ideal. But if you can't, because most people have a full-time work schedule and not everyone's going to be able to make the live lecture, we do record these lectures, right? And so you do have access to the lectures after they're recorded. If it works better for you to go back at a later point in the day and watch it, that's what we like to do in terms of flexibility, right? So there are live lectures, there are live office hours. If you can make it, great. If not, it's not going to be an issue. You do have access to all of the course material for 12 months after completing the course. So you have access to it for plenty of time, right? Plenty of time to go take the the certification for the Project Plus exam. And the cost of this course does include the voucher. I want to make that very clear. When you pay us to train you and give you the skills necessary to take the Project Plus course, you are getting the certification exam fee included in that course. So we'll dive into it a little bit more. The last thing I wanted to mention is we are going to have a time at the end for questions. But if you have questions as we're presenting, put them in the chat, put them in the question and answer box, right? And then Connor will kind of go over those. We'll have a time at the end for questions, but if there's a question that kind of makes sense for us to address, Connor will be kind of monitoring those. So just wanted to go ahead and ensure you guys to put them in the chat if you have them as we go along. So Kevin, I'll let you continue, okay?
Okay, yeah, very good. Connor? Okay. CompTIA certifications, talking about all of ours, we have led in the IT testing industry with what we call PBQs, okay, performance-based questions. Okay, and are we going to go to a quick poll now, Connor? Okay.
We'll go to that after, Kevin. Sorry about that.
Okay. So CompTIA tests include PBQs, performance-based questions, okay, that are typically 3-part, 4-part, 5-part, even 6-part questions, where you as the test taker, you have to apply the knowledge that you've learned from Skillstorm's program, and you've actually got to demonstrate skill. You've got to apply knowledge and demonstrate skills, in this case around project management principles and concepts and tools, okay? And this is a differentiator for CompTIA certs generally, and for Project Plus in this case specifically, okay, where we're going to ask you to apply that knowledge from your training program and demonstrate skills in order to answer questions correctly, okay? Your boss, your supervisor, loves performance-based questions. You will grow to love performance-based questions in CompTIA certifications. They add a level of rigor to the tests, but do a stronger job of verifying, of validating, really, that you understand the concepts, you understand the tools, the techniques that are in the body of knowledge for the Project Plus certification. There are no prerequisites to pursue any CompTIA certs ever. Same with Project Plus. Nope, you don't have to have years of work experience or anything else. It's a good idea that you've spent 6 months or so in a project's environment in your current work organization. That's going to help you for sure, but not mandated. You don't have to send in certain requirements of work experience or anything like that in order for you to get involved with this program. I mentioned earlier that it's a very popular certification. We have almost 100,000 now who are Project Plus certified, and by the way, the job titles of who those people are span a very wide footprint, super wide footprint. Okay, we have folks who do any and all kinds of work that you can imagine in organizations, and specifically in IT groups, and they've certified perhaps in their direct work for product support, technical support, for networking, network administration, for cybersecurity, for working on servers, for working in different tools and products. And over time, they have come back to, you know what, I'm being roped or grabbed or directed more and more to get into projects, get into dynamic work teams, to be able to do. It would help me professionally to better understand how small to mid-sized projects come together, whether just as an individual contributor or as somebody who's being asked to supervise or manage or lead these projects. That's why for Project Plus. Connor? Okay. They mentioned that the job titles, the job roles they're all over the place, and job titles always vary depending on whether you're talking about government versus private industry versus academia. Okay, but you see we have thousands of developers, web designers, webmasters who have earned Project Plus. We have thousands who have been working on a help desk, doing field service technician work, service management work, call it what you will, who have gone on and gotten their Project Plus. It just goes on and on and on. I should also mention we have a healthy chunk who have earned their Project Plus, who, when we ask up front as you're registering for your exam to put in your job title, have not put in any job title, which tells us that these are folks that are in work transition, which is totally fine. And they want to, for whatever the reason, they've been out of the workforce maybe, now they're coming back into the workforce, they want to pick up a new skill. Project management is a great one to pick up. Quickly get that on your resume, okay, to help them to more quickly get back into the workforce and get going. Connor?
I think we're gonna do a quick poll.
We're gonna do a
Yeah, before we move to the next slide. So then if you guys just want to vote on this, that will give us a little bit of insight as to what you guys are interested in. And then again, if you vote, every time you submit a reference, or not a reference, a response to one of these questions, one of these polls, then it'll enter your name into a raffle for a chance to win some CompTIA scroll bag. So we'll give you a few seconds to answer this, and then we'll continue on. Okay, I think that's good. Let's go ahead and continue.
Okay. All right. So next slide, Connor, please. I'm sure we've got people dialed in from all across the U.S. and perhaps some international attendees. I hope we do. Welcome if you do. But CompTIA has a research department. We do dozens of different market research surveys annually about the global IT industry. Sometimes that is in conjunction with a firm called Lightcast, okay, that focuses specifically on IT and related industries with a lot of their work. And so this chart is from Lightcast. If you're dialing in from any of these orange colored states, there are tons of Project Current today, tons of project management job postings in your state: Virginia, Florida, Alabama, Texas, California, and I'm going to go with Colorado, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, Colorado there. Okay, and some of the top employers, the consulting firms, Deloitte, Accenture, PwC, constantly looking for gobs and gobs of project management people, particularly because a lot of what their work is supporting the IT functions of their customer organizations. And as we said earlier, over $100,000 annual salary. Okay, and the larger the metropolitan areas where you work or where you wish to work next, the higher that average salary is going to be. Okay, so lots of demand, and what Skillstorm here is offering is a way, very quick and easy way over 8 weeks. If you're already in the workforce, keep working. Don't have to miss work, right? But you can quickly pick up a critical skill that's in demand in very short time. Connor?
Yeah, okay, well, I want to take over a little bit here. Kevin, thanks so much for all that information on the Project Plus certification. I learned a lot about it, and I think everyone here is going to learn a ton about how this can benefit you guys. I want to talk a little bit from the Skillstorm side of how we come alongside of you and how we enable you to pass these certification exams, right? And so you can see a couple of things here, a couple of the benefits of going through Skillstorm. One of the things I want to highlight, again, we briefly talked about it, but whenever you're going online, you can always find people who will train you to pass some certification. but a lot of times they're either instructor-led or they're self-paced. And both of those are good for a certain demographic, but rarely is it good for everyone. And that's one of the things that we love about how we do our training courses, is that they are designed to be a good fit for everyone. If you have more of that flexible work schedule, and you maybe are, like Kevin said, in transition, right? People who are applying for this Project Plus and filling out the detailed information, a lot of them are not filling out a job title. So yeah, there are going to be people in here with a little bit more time on their hands. They can attend the live lectures. There are also going to be a lot of people who are currently full-time, maybe looking to make a work transition and looking to get into a new field, or maybe just kind of do a lateral move from where they're at to a different area of tech. And this course is going to be a fit for both categories. They're called asynchronous or a hybrid learning schedule. And so, like I mentioned earlier, yes, it's instructor-led, so you have that benefit of the live instruction, but it's also self-paced in a sense too, where, excuse me, where you don't have to attend the live lectures in order to retain the information. We're going to provide access to that information for you, whether you can make the live instruction or not. Another big benefit of going through Skillstorm is we are a CompTIA authorized training partner, which essentially means that, I always like to think of it in terms of that blue check mark on social media. That's always the analogy I give. It means that we're kind of verified by CompTIA, and we have the capability to train you, give you the skill set needed to succeed and to pass the certification, right? And so we offer the official curriculum from CompTIA, right? And so you're going to learn everything that you need. Excuse me, I'm kind of cold here. You're going to learn everything that you need in order to pass the certification. You can see over here on the left-hand side, you have improved exam pass rates by going through Skillstorm. We have more than 20 years of experience in the tech industry, and so that kind of makes us aware of what employers are looking for. Yes, it's an updated curriculum, so as the certification is updated, right, then we keep training up to date. And then one-on-one mentorship, right? You have access to the instructors in office hours to get some clarification on some concepts that you may not have caught the first time around. So there's a lot of benefits going through Skillstorm. We don't have time to go over every single benefit, but we do love what we offer. And a lot of the people, you can even see a little testimonial down there on the bottom right of how Sarah, who is a CompTIA graduate, benefited from adding a certification, even with her master's degree. I believe before we go to the next slide, we're going to do one more poll. We'll give you about 30 seconds to fill out that poll. What's most important to you in a certification training course? Either affordability, the experts instructors who are accessible for those office hours, that one-on-one time, the curriculum that's there, that flexibility we were talking about with the asynchronous work schedule, or the career opportunities available to you after you obtain that certification. Maybe another 10-ish seconds to answer this. Okay, well, let's move on to the next slide. And again, if you have questions, please be kind of putting them in the chat. We'd love to answer them. Okay, so here's how to get started, right? There's a couple of different ways. One, you can go to our catalog on our website, right? And so there are going to be a couple of course dates that we have coming up for the Project Plus. We also train in other CompTIA certifications that are going to be beneficial to your tech career. Kevin, would you also say that, it's beneficial for project managers or people who are going to take this certification after they've obtained that Project Plus certification? I would argue they would benefit from taking some other CompTIA certifications as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's journey is a little different between where they've come from, perhaps the IT work that they've already done, and where they personally want to go next in their career, or, as is often the case, where their supervisor is telling them they're to go next in their career. So yeah. CompTIA has a wide list of certifications that map to many different IT job roles that could be next, and an appropriate follow-on certification after somebody earns their CompTIA Project Plus.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and so here we would just want to briefly mention, so the way that you can get started, you can go on our course catalog and see the Project Plus there, some of the start dates. We have a start date in October and also one in November. Or like you can see, if you want to enroll through one of our academic partners, then there's a separate link that you can click on and you can view the courses. Going through the university partners allows the university name to be associated with the certification course. And so that can be helpful on a resume, because then they don't just see, hey, you went through Skillstorm. I think it's great. You know, Skillstorm is very widely known in the tech industry, but so are universities, right? Major public universities. And so if you were to go through, through them, it's the same coursework, it's the same course material, but at the end, you do get a certification that says you've completed the Skillstorm certification via the university partner. And sometimes that can give a little bit of an additional benefit. So if you'd like to go through one of our university partners, you can certainly do so through that link as well. You can also receive, if you are active duty in the military, either in the Air Force or the Army or the Coast Guard or Space Force, you can receive funding for these courses via the COOL program. So that's your credentialing assistance funding. So you can speak with me afterwards. I'll give you my email. It should be on the last slide if that's something that you're interested in doing. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so yeah, here's some different funding options for our courses, right? You can obviously, always pay in full upfront. We do now have a buy now, pay later option, right? So if it's something that you want to pay over a couple of installments, you can do that. Your employer may have a tuition reimbursement program, right? A lot of employers are basically taking on that responsibility to upskill their employees in the tech industry. And so you may want to speak with your employer about if they have a tuition reimbursement opportunity. Like I briefly mentioned, your military benefits, if you're currently active duty, either in the Air Force, Army, Space Force, or Coast Guard, you would probably benefit from using the COOL funding. If you need more information about how to go about doing that, I'd be more than happy to speak with you about that. Sometimes there's state funding available. There's a lot of different opportunities. If you have any questions about these funding options, again, please send us an email at that address there at the bottom. Let's go to the next slide. It may be a poll. Well, no. So yeah, here's our phone number. Here's the email address that you can reference. There's a couple QR codes that you can scan in order to get more information. So take a little bit of time, write those down, but we also want to see if you guys have questions here and now that we can answer. Those are good to have, for reference. I can pull this up. Let me see if I've got any questions here. All right, so Connor, you said that there are a couple questions that you can read out to us.
Yeah, Seth, I got a couple questions here from Tina. Is the certification exam online or in person?
Oh,
that's a good question. Kevin, you can answer that.
It's both. All right. All CompTIA certification exams are now available online. Our test center partner is Pearson VUE, V-U-E, Pearson VUE, and they have an online testing platform, OnView. Okay, that's available to anybody who's got a reliable internet connection. And it doesn't have to be Verizon Fios or Comcast Xfinity, that wide of a pipe either. But most any bandwidth will do, as long as it's reliable and as long as you can demonstrate to the virtual proctor for your exam that you're in a closed room, as would be appropriate if you were testing in a bricks and mortar test center. Pearson VUE's 5,000 plus globally situated bricks and mortar test centers are also available for scheduling to take your CompTIA exam.
Awesome. What other questions?
Another question is, will you be sending a copy of this presentation at the end? And the answer to that question is yes, Tina. We will be sending the recording via email to anyone who registered for this event. And it will live on our YouTube channel. So you can view this at any time. We have a few more questions for Seth and Kevin. This one, I think, Kevin, you can probably take this one. How long is the Project Plus certification good for?
Ah, okay. It's GFL. All right. What's that stand for? Good for life. Okay, you test and successfully pass Project Plus once, you got the credential good for life. Most other CompTIA certifications are CE, continuing education, meaning you take your A+, Network+, Security+ certification exam, and if you pass, you earn that certification. It's good for 3 years. And then if you do things to earn CEUs, continuing education units, you can renew and extend that certification for an additional 3 years without having to retest. That's not the case with Project Plus. Project Plus is a one-time pass, good for life. You're good.
Thanks, Kevin. So another question for Seth. So we mentioned that the courses start in October and November, but what date do they start?
Yeah, so October 30th, that's going to be our the soonest one that's occurring, and then we also have one in late November, November 27th. And these are 8-week courses, so you want to plan accordingly. But yeah, those are the next start dates that we have: October 30th and November 27th.
All right, so we have a few more questions. This one's from David. I currently have a PMP certification. Would this course offer any benefit for me? Additionally, I'm a transitioning service member trying to get into the Skillstorm DevOps program using VetTech. Could I use VetTech for this course?
Well, is it David? If you already have your PMP, God bless you and good for you. And for people who might not know, PMP, for those who want to or who have been told to, hey, you're going to be a full-time project manager, and we're going to need you to full-time project manage large enterprise projects. PMP is where you should be going. That's right. So you've done the right thing there. Okay. By contrast, CompTIA's Project Plus, small to mid-sized projects. Okay. And generally, most people, I mentioned earlier, relatively very few of the 100,000 or so who've earned CompTIA Project Plus are full-time project managers. A few are, but not really that many. And it's very largely people who do IT work or on the periphery of IT work, who are being asked or being told, or who just for their own professional development see, this would be a good idea if I added project management skills to my toolkit. But their work or their current career path is anything and everything else, not project management. And as I mentioned also, I think, and we have a lot of people who've successfully Project Plus certified, who have been in transition, work transition, career transition, and have then used the certification to help them to hire into IT work, where small to medium-sized projects are in need of management and supervision. You know, I don't know. I'm going to make a note of that and find out and get back to you. I don't know the answer, David, to the second part of your question on Project Plus qualifying for the VetTech program.
I can answer that question. Yeah, so the Project Plus with Skillstorm, it would not qualify. So the VetTech program, we have a few specific courses, and if AWS DevOps is what you're looking into, then we do train in that. And then there are some certification exams that are kind of associated with that, the CCP and the Solutions Architect Associate. But we do not have a 16-week long course dedicated to project management with the VetTech program. So this would be a separate opportunity. But depending on when you're transitioning out, you may qualify to use your credentialing assistance for this. So if you want to reach out to that phone number or that email address, we can kind of get in touch, get to know a little bit more about your specific situation and see which of those, if not both, would apply to you. Good question there, David.
Yep, good question.
All right, thanks, guys. So we got a couple questions from Dan and land, how much does the CompTIA Project Plus course cost?
Yeah, for our course, this one is going to run at just shy of $3,000, right? So $2,995. That's going to get you access to the live instruction, the office hours, again, the certification voucher, the 8 weeks of the material being taught live. You also get access to additional resources that you have access to for 12 months, right? So again, this is not something that you are only given access to for an 8-week period, and then you have to utilize everything within that time frame, and then it's gone. You have the 8-week period of the live instruction, the office hours, the access to the instructors. But then after that 8-week period, you still have access to the resources we gave you during that time period and the live lecture recordings. Right? So you have access to a lot of materials for the time being. So that's what it gets you access to. $2,995. Again, there's a payment plan available if it's not something that you want to pay in full. If you want to pay in full up front, that's totally great. You can obviously do that. And then there may be some credentialing assistance for military or maybe employer reimbursement. Those options that we talked about on the last slide, I believe. So to answer that question.
Thanks, Seth. Got one for Kevin. Why do I need Project Plus if I'm not a project manager?
Well, something like 80,000 people who are not project managers have earned their Project Plus. As I've mentioned earlier in the webcast, we're working in many different areas in the IT function and in and around the IT function for their organizations. The reality is more and more people are being asked to manage small projects in addition to what their primary job is or what their primary tasks are in their current work. And this is a quick way. It is a relatively easy and inexpensive way. While if you're already in the workforce, while you can continue to work and keep your job and keep working away and be able to time shift the learning on this over the 8 weeks and quickly add a new skill that's very much in demand to your toolkit.
All right, thanks, Kevin. I think that was the last question we had. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up today. Again, this will be posted on our YouTube channel. That's Skillstormer, Ashley. That's the name of our YouTube channel. You can find it there, or we'll send you an email. You'll have this recording in your inbox shortly. Just give us some time to upload that, and we will send that as soon as possible. Thanks all for attending. I'll let you guys wrap up. Kevin and
Sure. Hey everybody, it's been great being with you here today. I appreciate you giving us time, and I hope that we've been able to shed some light on the CompTIA Project Plus certification and further get you interested in enrolling with Skillstorm and letting them get you ready for a successful testing result. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Again, if you have questions, please contact us at one of those, either that phone number or that email address. Thanks, Kevin, for giving us all this information about the Project Plus. I learned a lot, and so I'm sure everyone else did, and we look forward to the next one.
Super, same here. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.